Hello, I'm Edwina from My Craft Orchard. How are you all? Do you know, I've just come back from having Sunday lunch with my family at the pub. It was so nice. I haven't spent that amount of time with my family in a long time. And it was really, really nice. Different. A change, I think that was great. So I've come back and I've decided I'm going to show you how I set up my Daisy Craft planner. And I'm setting up for 2022. And you're saying, yeah, but it's October, Edwina, why are you setting it up now? Well, Daisy Craft is the business that I run with my husband. And so, first of all, I need the planner sort of set up now so we can do some future planning and all of those sort of things, quarterly planning. And secondly, if you have a lot of planners that you want to set up, get organised and all of that for the beginning of 2022. You don't want to do 6 planners on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Christmas week, New Year's Day. We're planners, so it's a good idea to plan ahead and get them set up beforehand if you can, if that makes sense. So, I haven't been able to show you if my light's actually shining on it, but if you remember right, I did a video about how I plan, and I showed you this then, but I can't actually show you the inside purely because it's a business planner and it's a lot of private information. So this is what I used last year, which, as you can see, is just a notebook. So for this year, I'm going to use this one. Okay, ring bound, £3 from the works. If you've been following my £10 pocket money series, I didn't buy that, I haven't done this in that series, but it's the same sort of thing. I've only spent £3 on this planner, on this notebook that I'm going to make into a planner. I'm going to what they call frankenplan a notebook. Okay, so that's my start point. I need a notebook, and it's A4, and you can do this for any A5 or A6 if it's got the rings, the coil on it. I'm also going to need a pencil, and you're also going to need some sort of hole punch. So this is one of those hand punches. There we go. And I think it's the 1 centimetre one. It corresponds to the holes. It's the right size for the holes that are already in the paper in this notebook. What I've also done is I've gone onto the internet and I've had a lovely time printing off calendars. And so I've been to Calendpedia, and on there, and I've been to this site a lot. There is so much stuff on there. There's your yearly, your monthly, your weekly, your daily, academic, finance. There's UK, US, Canada calendars, Sunday start, Monday start, and it's free. Okay, they like you to share it on Instagram and all of those sort of things. So I'm sharing the fact I've printed this on my channel today. So that's the first thing I printed off. And I'm going to go through these afterwards, and I'm going to show you which ones. And then I've also printed off this one. Again, this was completely free from a company called Productive Flourishing. Everything I'm talking about, I will link in the description below. But Productive Flourishing is a company who you can buy a planner, and they've got lots of books and information and a blog and everything about it. But they also offer free stuff. And this, as you can see, is part of their system, and it's 1 to 5 weeks, quarterly projects, monthly projects, schedule events, and emergent projects as well. And the whole idea is you fill in your top 5 for that week, and then that progresses into for your that week, and then that goes into your week, and then that goes into your day. So you always know what it is. It's like a project planning type system. I haven't used the system as they've set out, but I do like the way that they've printed out these. Okay, so I'm going to be using this year. The difference is last year I did this. So I had January and then I had just a blank piece from the next month on the back. And on there I just drew a sort of a box, and I put tasks, and then I just wrote in like bullet journal form anything that needs to be done. And then on this page I put a line down the middle, and I'd put anything that needs to be paid, so bills and the amounts and that sort of thing, and then any tasks that need to be date specific on this side. So that's how I used it last year, and this year I intend to use it like, oh, can I find it? Like this. So I have the month on this side, I have the monthly momentum planner on this side, and again anything that needs paying here, any tasks on this side, so I'm going to draw a line down, and then I can go to here and I'm going to put each week what corresponds, what needs to be done each week. So I know for the last week of every month I will have to do wages and that sort of thing. What I'm also going to do, I don't tend to have a lot of scheduled events for my company, for my business. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to utilise that space there as a monthly checklist. So I'm going to just put a piece of sticker over there and use these lines for things that need to be done every month, and then I can rewrite those out as I need to. So now the next question is, how do I get all of these papers into here? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have a couple of sheets that still need to be punched, and as you can see I've actually punched holes all the way down the one edge. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get a piece of paper out of the notebook that you're going to be using. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I'm going to show you how to take that notebook apart, but I've actually pulled a piece of paper out and I actually cut all of the edges like this, and that is my measure. That lines up perfectly with the rings on the notebook I'm going to use. What I've then done is I've put that onto the paper that I need to punch. So, and now my punch, because of the paper I'm using, which is quite thick, will quite happily do 2 pages. Now you might find that if you use thinner paper, you could do 3, but mine quite happily does 2 because I'm using a slightly thicker paper. So I've got that one. I'm just trying to work out. Now this is the point, you need to work out before you punch holes where you want your planner to be. If you want April on here and this on here, you need to swap around because the holes will be in the wrong place. So I want my month on this side, and I want my monthly overview, as it were, on this side. So I need to be putting the holes down that side, yes. So the holes need to be going down there, and I've already, so the holes down there, and I want that calendar to go in that way so the rings are there so I can read it. So I've worked all that out, where the holes have got to go, and then I'm just going to line them up and use a little clip to clip them all together. Okay, those shouldn't move now. So what I'm going to do is, where the square is, let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, can you see I've actually already put a few, I've already dotted them, because I was going to do these later, and then I thought, oh wait a minute, I'm doing a video, I better show everybody how to do it. So I've lined it all up, I've pegged it, I've clipped it so they don't move, and as you can see I've put a little dot in every single, right in the middle there, look, across the whole one. I've only done it on the first page because I'm going to do 2 at a time. I'm going to do 2 at a time, so I only need to do the one. Okay, and then so I'm going to, and then I'm going to take the clip off the front page, but I'm going to leave it on the back too. So I don't need the lined paper with the holes in now. I just need the piece of paper that I've marked, and I've clipped it together to keep them together. What I'm then going to do, and this is the messy bit, you could do it over a bin, but I do find it gets a bit messy, and my husband shouts at me because there's dots everywhere. Okay, if you have a look, let's see if I can get this on camera. You put the dot right in the middle of the hole. Now these come with a cover, so I've actually took the cover off. And can you see there's like a ridge just there where my thumb is? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the ridge up with the edge of the paper, and I'm going to put the hole right in the middle of where the dot is, and I'm going to punch it. Okay, and I'm going to do that all across. Which means there's now going to be dots all over Harry's bedroom, because that's where I'm filming today. Bear with me while I do this. If you now look, I've now got dots all over my table. So I said my husband goes mad. Okay, so all holed up, and as they say on Blue Peter, which was a children's programme when I was growing up, here's one I did earlier. Here's one I did earlier. So then my next task is to go through all the pages that I've printed off and to make sure that they're all in the right order. So I want my 2022 calendar at the front. I then want my quarterlies, because Calopedia do the quarterlies there, so that's January, February and March. And what I intend to do with these is here I'm going to put quarter one and write out any ideas or anything that I want to do, and then I've got the actual dates for the quarters where I can transfer ideas and projects that we're going to do. So I've got all four at the beginning, like that. And then because I printed it slightly differently, I've got a month, and I'm going to put notes on this page, and I'm going to make this into like a checklist of, sometimes in the front of a planner you have a spread that tells you how to use the rest of the spreads. So that's what I was thinking I would do for that. And then I've got January, so let me just double check all of these. Okay, all the way through to December, and then I've got a 2023 calendar at the back as well. Okay, the next thing to do is just to make sure that they all line up perfect. Okay, what I'm going to now do with that to save them all, because you know what it's like, you get a load of papers, if they fall off your table you're going to have to do that task all over again. So the next thing is the notebook itself. Now it's hardcover, and I chose a design on the front that I'm going to like looking at all year, because I'm going to be using this for the whole of 2022. So it makes sure you find something that inspires, or you just think is pretty and that sort of thing. Now the book itself just has lined paper. It's not brilliant quality, but it is really nice to write on, I have to say. And as you can see, it's not too thick, but it's nice size. If you go right to the back, can you see, I'm trying to show you on camera, there's like a gap all the way down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull these apart so I can get the pages and the covers out. Now, you don't need to pull these so far apart that the whole thing comes out. You only need to pull them as far to get this hard cover out, because this is thicker than the paper, which means you'll be able to get two or three pages out of the book if you only open it as far as the thickness of the cover. So let me just do that. So I'm going to start at the one edge. It's a bit hard on the fingers because this is all metal. And as I say, you can do this with any of these sort of ring bound planners. You can take pages out, you can add pages in. Okay, so as I take that off now, that should just slip out. Needs a little teasing, but it does come out. Lovely. Now, the trick with this, okay, is to make sure that you put that down next to your book exactly as you've just took it off. Okay. And what you're now going to do is you're going to take the front cover off exactly the same way. And you're going to do exactly what you've just done, which is put it down exactly as you've just took it off. Because otherwise, when you start putting the booklet back together, all the front cover and the back cover might be the wrong way round. Okay, so those I've got put down exactly as they've come off here. So next to that cover, I'm going to be putting all of my new pages that we've just sorted through and had a look at. So because I want 2022 calendar right at the front, I'm going to put the holes right next to it like that. So far this is a pile that's going to be going back onto these rings. So if I just try to put those in to these rings, there's not going to be enough space on here. So what I tend to do is I have a look at how many pages are in, because I need to leave some of the writing paper for meeting notes, for planning, for brainstorming, for stock lists or whatever I need. Sorry, I was a bit off camera there. So this is the actual notebook. So having a look at what I'm putting in, I'm going to take about a third off. If you want to count the pages so you know you've got enough for whatever it is you're going to use this for, by all means do so. I'm a bit obsessive sometimes. I'm always counting bullet journal pages and things like that. So I'm going to take about a third off, and all I'm going to do is take it round and take it off the same as I have the covers. Now halfway through, I'm going to store these nicely, and if halfway through the year I need some more note paper, I can come back to this, take out some more pages and put these blank ones in. Either that, or I could use these for scratch notes, I could add it to another ring planner. For instance, the one I used last year, I've still got a load of pages in the back, so I could take last year's calendar out and file it, and then I can actually make a brand new folder with these extra pages. So, dots everywhere. So I've taken them out, and then once I've added those in, it's not going to be too thick, it's going to be about the same, I reckon. So the trick with this is don't try and put all of those in at the same time. Okay, I can take my clip off now. I'm going to take about 3 or 4, and I'm just going to make sure, if you like this pad, I've got a thicker piece at the top than I have at the bottom, so that's my top. Make sure that the top of this is in line with that, and I'm just going to feed them onto the rings the way that I've took the covers off. So bear with me while I do that. Okay then, so some of these pages have gone in a little bit tricky, a bit fiddly, but it is well worth it. So those are the last of my pages, and this is why I said to put the cover down as you took it off, because when you put it back on, it should be the right way around. And again, a little bit fiddly. Because the covers are thicker. We've only opened them enough to get them off. Okay, so before I do anything else with this, I'm just going to flip it and just see how that sits on the ring. And can you see it's not overflowing? I took about the right amount of pages out to accommodate the new planning sheets, and as you can see, you can actually see where the planning sheets and where they are, and I'm happy with that. I don't think that's too bulgy. So what I'm now going to do, let's just zoom you in a little bit, is I'm just going to close these up. I'm not going to over close them, I'm only going to put this piece back in line with the metal ones, which is how I've had it when I bought it. Okay. Now the best thing to do when you're doing frankenplanning like this is to plan it out beforehand, because you don't want to be opening those. You don't want to open that coil too many times, because eventually metal does give out. And there you have it, new planner. So I've got loads of note papers in the back from the original notebook that I bought, and then I have the planner right at the front for me to plan next year. And on this I'll probably add things like tabs, I can use clips, maybe a bit of washi tape, whatever you want, whatever you feel you need for your planning, coloured pens, that sort of thing, because I do tend to use coloured pens. Fabulous, I'm happy with that. And I can start planning 2022 for Daisycraft now. Okay, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, then make sure you subscribe. I do appreciate you being here and watching my videos. I enjoy making them so much. So thank you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.